This is a good one. We can say Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad, Shiva, any being who we feel is enlightened or awakened, if they reincarnated right now, in a different body, of course, how many people would actually recognize them? Because this video is about pointing, you can say, to this deep conditioning that we have that judges if somebody's awake or not. This is what we're doing. It's like the mind, mainstream mind, some of you individuals out there, you're not in this collective karmic soup. I've said before, there's 3 levels. You have collective level, you have individual level, which is more higher than collective. Then you have transpersonal level, somebody that's recognized their non-dual nature. A lot of people like to skip the collective, go straight to the transpersonal though. You notice that? They're like, I don't have any individual karma because like there's nobody here to have karma. Transpersonal, right? Doesn't work like that. The collective mainstream dominates this society today. I don't know the percent, 80% maybe? I mean, there's different levels of collective. You have some collective who are just super, there's like no individual feeling in them at all. It's like a total program. Everything they do, how they act, how they react, who they like, who they don't like, is total like software program. That's tells the program tells them, it paints this picture, conditioning, of when somebody's good or holy or spiritual. So it has this conditioning package. Oh, they're smiling. Oh, they're wearing spiritual clothes. Oh, they're talking very eloquently. They're spiritual. And then it has the opposite also. And this ties into what this video is about. If somebody's simple, they're not telling a bunch of, outlandish stories about awakening, like, whoa, man, I was like sitting here, I was meditating, and all of a sudden, Kundalini went up to Sahasrara. I like saying that word, Sahasrara chakra. And like the energy, it went out of my head. I like saw it. It like shot out of my head. Really? How'd you see it? Because my third eye was open, so I could see everything. Okay. So then it shot up and it made a bunch of fireworks. And then people were watching the fireworks. And then from that day on, there's no self, there's no me, there's no nothing. I'm in an ecstatic state of bliss, like 24/7. Now, mainstream people, they like that. Wow, they like exclusive kind of like outlandish things. They want to hear about, some special awakening, or they want to hear a story about how you made $1 million and then you gave it all up and now you live in a mobile home and you just do sadhana, you just meditate all the time. Wow, that's super spiritual. Or if you're one of these collective gurus that have, thousands or millions of followers, and they say, well, he has millions of followers, he must be awake. I mean, how could millions of people be following him or her and they're not be awake? They must be awake. And so then all of a sudden, the person starts to follow them too. We've heard the saying, sheeples, right? Well, I mean, if they're all doing it, it must be real. It must be actual. Why would 1 million people do it? Because 1 million people is nothing. Not when there's 8 billion people, and I've already said 90%, could be more, are mainstream collective level consciousness. The individual discerning power, it isn't awakened them. They don't know vibration. It all comes to that, really. Vibration. Can you read vibration? That supersedes all these other extravagant things. If you can't read vibration, then you're going to be impressed with these more superficial things. And it's strong conditioning. It's strong. Even I'm saying these things, and I know there's still some doubts in people when they're like, yeah, but if they got 1 million people following them, like you're telling me, and they talk very, sophisticated TED Talk people, and they have all these stories, these magical stories. Like, are you saying, come on, man, are you saying like they're not at the highest point of self-realization? All I'm saying is, can you read vibration? But you know what? Then the mind, you can't get away from the karma. You see, this is what I mean. You can't. The mind will, the mind will justify and say, no, I can read. I can feel it. I feel so much love when I look at them. It's because they're projecting their conditioning onto the person, and then that's creating this sense of, you can say, love. It's like some people, I remember I had an Indian friend, this was years ago, where we were in Thailand, and the Indian person was very, he's very free-spirited on one level, otherwise we couldn't hang out. But he was very dogmatic when it came, just on a couple things, when it came to like Hindu conditioning and stuff. And he's like, the vegetarian, for example. So we were at this restaurant, and I don't remember, ordered something, I think pad thai. And then he was enjoying it. He was eating the pad thai. He's like, yeah, this is good. I'm like, yeah, the chicken tastes good, don't it? He's like, there's not chicken in it. I'm like, a little bit. There wasn't chicken in it though. I was messing with him. And then he like pushed it away. I said, well, it's good. You said it's good. No. Yeah, you said it was good. Like, eat it. I said, why? He said, no, I feel guilt. That's conditioning. And the conditioning overrided the actual moment, and he actually made himself think it's not good. Like, it didn't taste good. And the guilt was psychologically produced. You see, when I got into 12 Steps program when I was a teenager, I don't know, I was early 20s, and it hit me. I'm like, because I'm trying to like find the answer, how to get well, how to feel healed and spiritual and all that. So I was like, I'm going to do step 9, made direct amends to people who you've hurt. I'm going to do it to the max. I made a list of everybody I've ever hurt in my life on any level. Teachers that I like talk back to, and principals and baseball coaches. And I just got so extreme with it. Found their name in the phone book and wrote them all letters. And then there was a couple of times I had an accident in LA because a car accident. It wasn't my fault, but the only way to get paid for your car, you have to play the game, basically. You have to have your insurance company go, make a case. Well, you need to like show that you're hurt a little bit in order to get the case started. So I went to a chiropractor and, just played the game. It wasn't a big deal. But I was in extreme mode. Like, I gotta like be perfect. And so I was gonna write the insurance company and say, you know what, I wasn't really hurt. And then there was a year, maybe I didn't claim an extra $1,000 on my tax. I was gonna write them. I did write the Marine Corps, the general, and said, look, I joined the military with a pre-existing condition. I didn't say anything about it. I went extreme. And if you'd asked me why, I'd have said, because I feel guilty. I feel so guilty. This is a way the mind manufactures guilt and postulates it as an authentic feeling. This is subtle introspective stuff. Okay. Now, did I veer off a little bit? Yeah, I always do. What's the subject? Subjects, we can't recognize an awakened being if they were here right now. Okay, why? Assuming that they had different face, assuming they live very simple life, very just simple person. Let's take it more further. They're poor. They wear kind of like, there are holes in their clothes because they can't like buy new clothes. They don't talk a big game. They don't share all their little, their spiritual awakening stories and how they saw lights and they meditated and then boom, oh wait, the door opened and you saw the bright light and you went and then you were showered with this magical, bliss. They don't say any of that. But ironically, let's say they had more They had more experiences than that, but they don't they don't share about it, because for what? They don't share anything, really. Would you notice them? You see? Would you notice them? The mind's designed, the conditioning, to dismiss people if they don't fit into a certain thing, a certain concept. Now, what if they had droves of people following them? They have a stage and they walk out with their spiritual dress. See? The conditioning around that is that the people will, oh wow, they must really have something. So then when that person's talking, you can't read the vibration, because you've already made up your mind that, like, they have something, that they're self-realized. But if it's a very simple person and they don't try to demonstrate anything, those people are missed. I'm telling you, there's a lot of awakened beings out there that will never even meet. Even better than that, they don't even know they're awakened, because it's just very natural. I'm making a video soon on the real measuring stick of awakening. Maybe I'll make it next, since it's somewhat fresh. So we have to learn to read vibration. But we can't read the vibration until we're free of the conditioning. We can't get free of the conditioning unless we know we have conditioning. The ego doesn't want to admit it has conditioning. The ego wants to think, I got it, man, I already got it. Like, I see nothing exists, and there's no conditioning, and there's no person to have conditioning, so, like, I'm done. And there's other beings, they just can't they don't have the CPU, the subtle introspection ability, to catch out the conditioning. They can't do it. It's impossible. So some of you do have it, and these videos are for you. And I'm starting a group. Okay, I remembered. I have to announce this for the next, I don't know, a couple weeks, just to let people know that we're starting a satsang group, and it's going to be on Zoom, and we're gonna discuss these things. We're going to discuss what seems to be. Well, we're going to look at your idea that you have of awakening, and then how the mind says that you're not awakened. I agree with the mind, actually, because there's no flag post awakening. I got it, I'm done. There's always something to comb out, to fine tune. That never ends. The consciousness has incarnated into an imperfect human self, so there can never be total fusion in this human self. There's always something else to iron out. I think what most people that are chasing awakening, what we really want is to feel a nice semblance of balance, to where we're not being controlled all the time by emotions and thoughts. Isn't that good enough? Do we got to label that awakening? Anyway, it's God's business. It's an evolutionary journey. He's created all these laws. We can't do it. That's another video I'm going to make. Like we can't do anything for this awakening. I look in my life, what did I do to get so-called here? I did, it looked like I did a bunch of stuff, but I didn't make any decisions about this, really. It looked like I made decisions. I made a video. Do we really have free will to manifest? I talk about that there. This 3D game that we're in is so real that, like, nobody knows we're in it. Even those of us who do know we're in it, we still don't know totally. Otherwise, we couldn't play it. Something just surrenders at some point and says, okay, show, just do your thing, even though that's what it's doing anyway. All right, let me know if you like this video, and I have a website link in the description box. If you're interested in the group, you can go on the website. It gives you information about that. I'll see you.